in 1999, when I first entered Parliament, probably on the first or the second days, there was a major controversy involving an issue related to the Bofors case, and the government asked me to speak. I had joined as a minister. I became an MP a few months later. So after I finished my speech, our senior leader, Mr. Advani, who was sitting next to me, he congratulated me and emotionally held my hand and made a very interesting comment which I have repeated in the past. And he said, when you speak in Parliament or outside, speak on issues, avoid speaking on persons. I then, of course, I may have breached this rule once in a while, but I tried to follow it as far as possible. Now, I have some very distinguished predecessors in my present job, one of whom is a former president, one is a former prime minister. And I'm certainly not referring to them. The others have decided to act in concert. Because speaking on persons and then bypassing the issues is something which is very easily done. So I did my little research today. Only to just bring out 4 or 5 sentences, if you'll bear with me. One said of the other, Chidambaram will have to be born again to match my record as a finance minister. He then linked Finance Minister Chidambaram to an incompetent doctor for failing to curb India's alarming fiscal deficit. And then he went on. And he said, I accuse him of running the economy down to the ground. He then said that Chidambaram is the most conceited person. He then went on to accuse him of bugging his phones. Today, with complete responsibility, I want to say, when I raised the issue of Aircel Maxes, Chidambaram ordered my phones to be bugged. The other one was not to be left behind. And he said, I thought Shri Sinha would be happy to remain a distant memory for the people of India. However, since he seems determined to remain relevant in his party, I am obliged to recall his record during his 4 years as finance minister. I may point out that in 2000, 2001 and 2002, 2003 were the worst years since liberalization in terms of growth, and Prime Minister Vajpayee had then to force him out and replace him. Well, I'm glad they didn't have Mr. Advani to advise them. But then acting in tandem itself won't change the facts. Probably a more appropriate title for your book would have been India at 70, Modi at 3.5, and a job applicant at 80.